Hey, 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 good morning, everybody. Welcome into another edition of the NCAA football preview. Taking a look at the NCAA card for Saturday, week 12 in college football, November 16th, 2019. Again, I am the big man on campus. Hope you're having a great morning wherever you are. So sit back, relax, and let's talk some college football. We'll wait for some people to get in here. Please hit the like button, say hello on the chat, and tell your friends about this show. Always looking to grow it, always looking to keep it moving, always looking to add more people. That's how you build a channel. So make sure you do that. Make sure you tell people. Make sure you share. If you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you never miss a video. I got all sorts of videos here: college basketball, the NBA, NFL, NCAA football, also all sorts of stuff. Make sure you check it out now. All right, let's get into the video here. We will break down every game. Now, if you're playing along at home, we go by rotation number, not time. Rotation number. We don't have any time limit here. We don't have to get done in 20 minutes or anything like that. I'm going the rotation number. If you're not familiar with what a rotation number is, you should, because if you're betting in real life at a counter, you've got to know the rotation number. They're not going to take your bet if you go up and say, oh, I like Virginia Tech -6. You got to go up with the rotation number. It's the easiest way. Everyone has a different one, so it's very simple. And again, it's the three little numbers next to the game. So it's a great way to not forget what you're on, especially on a big card. Going forward, with college basketball, you're going to have hundreds of games on a Saturday. A great way to differentiate them would be the rotation number. So you write down, hey, I like 664, I like 780, and I like 594. Very simple, very easy. So there's a little bit of advice for you. Thank you for the NBA pick last night. Yes, no problem. NBA pick got the job done. We took the Warriors plus 7.5. Nice one there. I am sitting at 18-8 on the season in the NBA, and I post those on Twitter. So make sure you check out later. I'll have one as well. All right, let's get into the show. Let's go through each game. We'll start up at the top. 319-320. Kansas State hosting the West Virginia Mountaineers. State laying 13.5. Total 46. This number's come down total-wise, down to 46. You know, I would lean K-State here. I think West Virginia's, I still think, kind of overvalued, let's say, in the market. I still think people think that this is the West Virginia of old, and it's not. This team has struggled mightily, particularly against teams that are better than them. You look at this season, 2-5 against the numbers and underdog. That means when they're playing good teams, they generally get beat up. They're giving up over 32 points a game. And you look at lately, this team just can't stop anybody. You look at the last three games, they've given up 52, 38, and they did give up only 17 to Baylor. But for the most part, this team has struggled all season, giving points up. This is not the same offense that we knew under Dana Holgerson. They're only averaging about 16 points a game on the road, which is really ugly. And that's really been their undoing this year. West Virginia can't move the football consistently. When you're playing a team in K-State who is really playing well at home, I think the good thing about K-State right now is the culture in Manhattan. They're starting to buy into Chris Kleiman's system. He's a winning coach with a lot of success. And I've really kind of looked at him as kind of like his predecessor, Craig Bohl. Craig Bohl was at North Dakota State, went into the Division I rank with Wyoming. And he's done some really good things there. I think this is just a bigger level for Chris Kleiman, and I think he's going to continue to have success. He's already beaten a top 10 team in Oklahoma. In this game, this just seems a kind of a mismatch to me. K-State can move the football. They can really do it in all different ways. They're really good defensively. I think West Virginia continues to struggle. I think anything under 14 is definitely worth the look. This was definitely on my card. Generally when I bet on games, I have 6 or 7, and then I whittle it down from there. This was, I was close on this one. I definitely would probably take a shot with K-State at a smaller unit level. if you're going to do it. Here's the thing about units. This is important to know with when you're betting. If you're betting different units for, like, if you have a unit system, every game I bet is a unit. Now, there are certain games where I might bet a little smaller. That is fine, but you should never be betting above the unit system. So, like, if you like a game and you're like, oh, I'm going to bet 10 units on this game, you've got to stick to control and discipline. And, this is a game where I would consider betting smaller on. I definitely think it's worth a bet, but is it the best play on the board? Is it a top play that I'm burning down the door to get to? No, it isn't. All right, 321, 322, Georgia Tech, Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech laying 6, total 50.5. Listen, Georgia Tech ain't winning shit this year. They're 2-7. They're just playing out the string at this point. Vatek's starting to kind of get some semblance a little bit. I don't see any reason they can't go on the road and win by 6 or more, but you guys know me. I'm not a big ACC guy. You've got to understand, in the ACC, if you're betting it consistently outside of Clemson, these are some of the worst offensive lines in the country. I think they have 6 offensive lines that are giving up 20 or more sacks in this conference. You're not getting a lot of stabilized trench units. Like, they don't get to the quarterback and they give up a lot of sacks. That's not really teams you want to get involved with. This game, I couldn't care less about. 323, 324, 12 Eastern coming up here in about an hour and a half. You got Temple grabbing 6 as a dog at home against Tulane, total 54. Listen, if you're betting on Temple as a home dog, you're going to make money. They've covered 13 of 17 as a home dog, people, with 8 wins. So, look, is it a blind betting situation where when Temple's a home dog, you just bet them? Yeah, I think at this point it is. I think you've got to get something on Temple. This is an interesting game because if you know anything about Temple, they generally struggle with more, traditional quarterbacks that can sit in the pocket and beat you up. I'm not sure Justin McMillan can do that. He's more of a dual threat. He's more of a mobile guy. I think Temple will give Tulane all they can handle today. And I think if you're looking at it and saying, I'm just going to bet Temple as a home dog, I don't fault you for it. They've been really good in that role, even back to previous regimes. And, this team can move the ball. I mean, they've a good quarterback. Ramon Davis is a really solid running back. They've got a pretty good defense, particularly through the run defensive ranks. Wouldn't fault you for taking Temple today. 325, 326. Indiana getting 15 against Penn State. Stayed at home here. Total 55.5. No Michael Penix Jr. For the Indiana Hoosiers, who are 7-2 quietly. Nobody's kind of talked about them because why would we talk about them? They're not undefeated or anything, and they're not going to go to a major bowl game. But they have had a great season, and credit the coaching staff at Indiana. I mean, this has been arguably a pretty unbelievable year for Tom Allen and his team. I mean, guys, Indiana's ranked. Like, is anyone aware of that? Because I'm not. Like, I knew they were playing pretty well this year, but I didn't know they were ranked. You got to wonder, though, where do you go from here? You're really looking to kind of finish the season strong. Are they a live dog to win today? I don't know, but I would surely grab some points here. I mean, you're getting over 2 touchdowns. We've talked about this 15-point number before. Doesn't seem like a dog ever covers when getting 15. I think it's a number that people are scared off by as a favorite better. So if you're looking for a team to blow a team out, for whatever reason, if it's 15, you're kind of jumping off the wagon a little bit. They do have a capable quarterback, Indiana. Peyton Ramsey has started games there before, and he has had some success. He came in last week, 7 for 10, 108 yards and a touchdown against the Northwestern Wildcats. So, he's not – I mean, you look at the week before as well. You put up 351 and 2 touchdowns against Nebraska. So, losing Penix, while it hurts, it's not really that big a deal. Peyton Ramsey could come in and do some things. This number is actually up to 16 as we're speaking. So, Penn State looks to be pretty sharp here. I think a lot of people are buying into PSU here in some kind of blowout game. I don't know that I see it. 327, 328. Cincinnati laying 13 at South Florida. Total 46. South Florida continues to play pretty well. Under Jordan McLeod getting healthy and kind of getting good to go here. Teams can't ever really get going when they're not healthy, and all of a sudden South Florida is healthy. Do I have a crazy problem betting them here? No, I don't. I mean, Cincinnati at times has looked beatable. The East Carolina performance was a head scratcher. But there's other games in the card I like a little bit more. Not a game in the AAC I'm really running to. South Florida, they've kind of got to have these last couple games, 4 and 5. The goal is to get to a bowl game. You've got a home game here against Cincinnati, who's looked a little beatable lately. So I wouldn't completely rule it out. But Cincinnati usually finds ways to win these games. A lot of people in here. Thanks for joining me here. I do appreciate you. I think people kind of forget that we still do college football here just because we have so many other shows on this channel. But do me a favor, share it. Let people know that we are breaking down every game, which not a lot of people are doing. So make sure you do that for me. Josh Bell, a lot of money to be made. Let's increase our bank accounts. I took Navy. A lot of people take a Navy. And I see a lot of people not getting the best number there. You're just kind of, I think, saying, okay, you know what? I'm getting Navy above 7.5, so I'm just going to take it. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Cortland is a good money line dog today. Against Ithaca, which a lot of people don't know about, but up in New York State, that is a big-time game. So Dan Kelly, who maybe has some experience with those teams, he says take Cortland. Thank you, Devin. Just to remind everybody, my website is live for college basketball. My plays begin on Monday. I took some time to kind of get some numbers under our belt here, but our season does start on Monday. You can go subscribe and join me at bmocwins.com. It's not just a pick site. You're not just going to get picks and say, go bet them. You're going to get analysis. You're going to get audio analysis. I'm going to give you the reasons as to why I'm betting these games. I'm going to give you some of my secrets to what I look for and how I make money, or just grab great information in college basketball and put myself in a good position. Going to do some weekly roundtable type discussions where I'm going to kind of look at a particular trend or something going on in college basketball that can help improve handicapping. This website is not just to get picks. It's not a tout website. My goal of this website is to help you become a better in college basketball, whether you subscribe for a month or for a year or for whatever. Over the last couple of seasons, I've made money betting on college basketball. One season I made over 44 units. The next season I made about 5. But at the end of the day, it was all winning. And the goal is to continue to put information in your ear, into your head. To me, I don't think there's anybody better at college basketball information than myself. I'll try to put you on the right side. So if you want to join me, make sure you join me up until Monday. Again, you can still join after Monday, but my picks are going to start on Monday. And the goal is to just take it day by day and try to cash out. Thank you, Devin. If you guys want to join me, there's the link. The line opened at 10 in Navy, and everyone is just grabbing it. Exactly. And that's, I think, something that we as a bettor just kind of accept. Again, you're not going to get every good number. I get that. You can't get every number at the best. Now, I think, though, with us, I think you kind of have these key numbers. You're like, well, I'll just give away 2.5 points, and whatever. I think Navy can win. I mean, I nobody watches the Naval Academy more than me. I think defensively they're really good this year, and I think Ken will have this team prepared. But again, I think, it doesn't sit well with me that a lot of people like Navy here, a lot. I feel like and we're going to get to that game, but it definitely is, it definitely is something that I think we kind of just accept. But we'll get to that game in a second. Thoughts on Stu Feiner? I think Stu is a imbecile and an idiot, but I've been carrying that water for a long time. I mean, we've got to realize that for people like me and for people that really care about this business, and I've given a lot of time to it. I've been doing it a decade. I've been on Twitter a decade now, giving out picks and trying to grind it out and try to become something and try to get people to know who I am and, develop an audience. For people like me that try to do it the right way, he is a stain on what I do. People see what he does, and people think that that's how everyone is. The whole yelling act and that kind of thing. It's, Stu doesn't know anything about sports. Stu is someone that's trying to create capital off of unsuspecting bettors. He doesn't know anything about sports. He doesn't. He's old school. I mean, he might have made money when nobody knew about the internet, but now that the internet's around, he's just another guy. But Stu's a great marketer. He's not a guy that I would share a beer with, but I guess people like him, and I won't knock him for one thing. He can make money, which, so can Vegas Dave. There's a lot of those kind of guys that kind of are charlatans, as they say. You can't knock how they make money. I mean, they can make money from you. My goal is to just do your research. If you're going to buy picks, make sure you understand who you're dealing with, and ask yourself, does this person make my betting life easier? Does he, if he, and I'm not saying like if you don't win, you're not a good handicapper. I'm not saying that, because we all have, we all have times where we don't win, but are you, from a yearly perspective, with that person, are they making your life easier, or are they making your life tougher, and they're making your life more irritating? And are you looking at them and saying, like, my advice to anybody is when you're an adult, when you become an adult, every 6 months, you should look at let's say your finances, and you should say, well, what am I paying for that I don't need? Is this a benefit to me? So like Netflix. Oh, okay, I watch Netflix every night, so that's a benefit to me. Or whatever. A gym membership. I'm going to the gym, so I should keep paying for it. If you're not going to the gym, you shouldn't pay for it. You're wasting your money. If you have a handicapper where you don't have enough time to research your games, and you want someone that has some professional experience and knows what to look for, then I totally agree with it. But if you're just paying somebody and they're not giving you anything back, and they're losing, it's not really a good idea. So you definitely want to do your homework. If you can find someone that is going to give you good info, is going to help you become a better, is going to, turn a profit, hopefully, so that's what I would recommend, Rico Bosco's on Navy. Yeah, I saw that, and that's one of the reasons I didn't bet the Naval Academy. Listen, let's keep it moving. Let's try to get through these games. Syracuse Duke, no opinion. Again, ACC, couldn't care less. Louisville, NC State. Lead Louisville. I like the trajectory of this program under Scott Satterfield. NC State seems to be just a mess right now. Quarterback's out. They're dealing with a freshman. It's just a mess. Rutgers, Ohio State. Look, I think the big question for a lot of people is, I've had this question posed to me, can Rutgers score? Listen, I've watched, oddly enough, a lot of Rutgers. I bet against them twice this season, against Boston College and against Minnesota, both winning efforts for me. Listen, I'm not trying to be a dick, but Rutgers football is embarrassing. I mean, it's simply a case of they can't even move the football. They can't even string drives together where they're getting into field goal range or they're getting into the red zone. It's been a mess. Their quarterback, Johnny Langan, has been bad. So, can they score today? At this hour? No, I don't think they can. And can they score a touchdown? No. Could they maybe get a field goal? Maybe, if this game's kind of out of hand. The issue you have right now for Rutgers, and while if you're a Rutgers player or you're going to this game, I mean, Ohio State's, I think, going to be pretty pissed off. I think they're now the number one. They're the number one. There's number 2 team. They're not the number 1 team, and I think they're going to say to themselves, "Well, why aren't we the number 1 team? Our guy Chase Young They're railroading this cat. Let's go out and fucking destroy Rutgers. I'll be real with you. I wouldn't have any problem if you laid 52 today. This game, because if we know they have Ohio State, I mean, this is a team that has no trouble winning 77-0. I mean, they're just like doing onside kicks. They're throwing up 50. Like, they don't give a fuck. Like, and this is how you got to be if you're looking to be a top 4 team. You've got to set a message. If I had to play this, I would play Ohio State first half and full game. They should be up 35-0, 38-0, something like that. They won't punt in this game. Yeah, I'm laying it here. I've seen how bad Rutgers is, and if you haven't watched them, go back and watch against Minnesota or somebody. They're bad. They're real bad. They're real bad. Let's see what we got here. What else do we got? Minnesota, Iowa. This is an interesting game because Minnesota's a dog, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I know a lot of public bettors are thinking, oh, Minnesota's an underdog, +3. This line ain't moving any. It's not moving. Iowa, Kinnick Stadium, grind it out, hit you in the fucking mouth. That's what Iowa does. Kirk Ferentz. They got a pretty solid quarterback, Stanley. But Minnesota seems to keep defying the odds every fucking week. But this is a head scratcher here. Look, if I had to play it, I'd lay the points, but it ain't going to be on my card. Clemson and Wake. I think you got to make sure, if you're going to take Wake, is Jamie Newman playing? What's the story there? Clemson not really getting a lot of respect. I think we're just kind of assuming Clemson's really good. But again, Clemson has not played anybody. So, I mean, we know they're good, but when they get to the Final Four, it could be interesting. Pass here again, ACC. Central Michigan, Ball State. Central Michigan is a bowl-eligible team. Good for Jim McElwain. It's not easy to do at a school like Central Michigan, so good for him. Ball State, pretty good offense. I think we see some points in this game. Anytime Drew Plitt and Ball State play, I'm looking at to think there'd be points. Public agrees with me. Bettors agree with me. It's up to 60.5. I would lean with some points here. I think this game gets into the 30s. UL Monroe, Georgia Southern. UL Monroe is awful on defense. Georgia Southern, they're going to look to control the clock. These are two kind of opposite teams. Georgia Southern, very slow. UL Monroe wants to speed it up. Clash of Styles game. I've made it clear before. Not a big fan of betting on those. You're really flipping a coin. UMass Northwestern. Bettors coming in, grabbing the points here. This number was 41 last night. It's now 38. People don't believe in Northwestern. And why should you? Northwestern's offense is horrible. It's really, really fucking bad. So, you're asking yourself, do I want to lay points with a team that might not score that amount of points? And that's important. I mean, if you're laying 38, 37, and you score 28, you're not covered. I mean, it's pretty fucking simple. Over the last 5 games, Northwestern's only scored 38 points. So, I can understand why people are taking the points, but I don't think people have quite understanding how bad UMass's defense is. Listen, I've seen a lot of football in my time. I'm not sure I've seen a defense worse ever in college football. They're pretty bad. And people will bring up the fact that Northwestern's not scoring any points, but they have played some pretty good teams. Ohio State, Iowa, Indiana, and Purdue. Outside of Purdue, you've got 3 ranked teams there. One of them is in the Final Four. So, I don't know. Then you look at it, you only scored 10 against Nebraska. Their high mark this year was 30 against UNLV, which, UNLV is light years better than UMass. I don't know. I wouldn't get involved with this game, personally. If you do, good for you. Good luck, but I don't really understand why you would want to bet on it. There's so much more to bet on today. While UMass defense stinks, Northwestern's pretty anemic themselves. So they might only score 35 here. If I'm looking at it, I feel like this is like a 38-10 type of game. Like, I don't think UMass really has any success defensively, and for Northwestern, that'll be a high-scoring game. That's like scoring 55 if you're another team. Northwestern scoring 38 is like anyone else scoring 55. And defensively, Northwestern is pretty good. It wouldn't surprise me if they hold UMass to under 10 points here. Like, they're pretty good on defense. Troy, Texas State. I know sharps are on Troy from what I've read. Texas State is an irritating team. I thought they'd be a lot better this season. They got a new coach, new offensive coordinator. The quarterback situation looked good from the JUCO level. I don't really understand why they're 3-6, but I do because they don't get into the red zone and score. Which, if you're moving the ball but can't score, doesn't really matter. But not a game I'll be betting on. New Mexico, Boise State. You're kind of waiting for that show-out game from Boise State, but they don't do it much at home. This is a pretty bad ATS team in that stadium. They shouldn't have any trouble with New Mexico today, but I guess my question is, Hank Buckmeyer's been in and out of this rotation. We hear he's going to play, and then the game starts, and he's not playing. So you've got to do some research here. If you're betting Boise State, up until now, you're a fucking idiot. You're really dumb. And no surprise, the shithead in Staten Island already bet this game 2 different ways. That's why he is a complete imbecile. He's one of the bad people in this business. And if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. How do you bet this game? You don't know if Buckmeyer's playing. And Chase Cord's not good. He isn't. But that's what he does. He just looks at, Boise's playing a team that can't stop anybody. I'm going to get on them. Boise doesn't cover at home, they're one of the worst home teams against the spread in the country. So unless Buckmeyer's confirmed, you're going to win this game. I don't think you got to go out there with we know Cord can be a quarterback. If you're Boise, why not wait until a more important game? You're not going to lose this game. If you're betting Boise State now, you're complete, you're real dumb. You're real fucking dumb. This is a big game. You're going to have to win it, but they'll win. They're not going to lose. And Cord isn't a deer in the headlights. He can go out and move the football. But am I wanting to lay 4 touchdowns with Chase Cord? No, I'm not. If I would look towards Boise State, I'd look more towards a team total or something. But I got to know what the story is with Buckmeyer. All right. What's up, Nick? Nick Goshkai, my guy. Sheepa, what's happening? I wish Enrico would make peace. Well, that ain't going to happen. That's him. That's him that he has started all this stuff with Blackjack and with Brandon Walker and with Glenny Balls and with Paul Luduca and with even me. I don't work there. I've interviewed there, but I don't work there. But he even hates me. Calls me the wire tweeter. Calls me, the fat slob in Philly. That's what he calls me. He doesn't even fucking know me. He's a shithead. He's a coward. He's a rat. He's a weasel. How do you contact you via phone? You don't. Contact me via phone. Listen, email me, okay? Go to my website, go to contact me, and you can contact me there. And I'll, if you want to leave a phone number, I'll call you blocked and we can chat. But I'm not giving you my number. I don't give people my number in this business unless they're, friends of mine. Donnie Wrightside or someone like that. So yeah, you're not going to contact me via phone. There's nothing we need to talk about over the phone. So yeah. All right, let's keep it moving here. We are about halfway through. UCLA, Utah. Utah continuing their trek towards maybe having a shot to get into the Final Four. They're going to have to battle it out with Oregon. UCLA has improved. They're getting there. Dorian Thompson-Robinson is in and out. We don't know if he says he's probable. Is he healthy? This is a tough trip. Chip in that defense. I'm not betting UCLA. Utah shouldn't have any trouble here. Air Force, Colorado State. Trendy over. I don't disagree with it. I mean, you're going to have two offenses that are going to be able to move the football. But this Colorado State team starting to get going a little bit. They're playing well. Their offense has been terrific. This Rams team playing well. 3-game win streak. And are they going to win this game? I don't know. It's tough, but it is kind of a city rivalry, this kind of thing. Greeley against Colorado Springs. Colorado State ain't going to sneak up on anybody. Air Force are going to sneak up on them. I think this is a game played within 10. I really do. I like Air Force, but again, they've been vulnerable to the passing game, and this is a home game for CSU. I think CSU a little undervalued here. This was another game that I was pretty close on, and I still may even play still. I think Colorado State looks really good here. They should be able to move the ball. This should be a high-scoring game too. Air Force should break off some big plays, and so should the Rams behind that vaunted passing attack. Wyoming, Utah State, I've said many times, I don't bet Wyoming games. They're one of the few teams that I just don't bet on. I've had some horrific beats with them over the years, and I just don't really get much right with them. I will say this, Craig Bowl has done good jobs against opposing quarterbacks. Why do I have a feeling he shuts down Jordan Love tonight? Just a thought. App State, Georgia State. App State's rolling right now. They're rolling in this conference. They're really good. But the Georgia State team's pesky. 6-3. The quarterback, Dan Ellington, can move the ball. I don't know. I might need 17 to get involved here. App State seems like they're on a roll. Navy, Notre Dame. Okay. A lot of people are talking about this game. Listen, as I said earlier, when you're betting on a military school or betting against a military school, you've got to realize they don't do things like other teams. Okay, they don't prepare like you. They don't do anything like you. They don't make mistakes like you. They don't put themselves in bad positions like you. They win the battle in the trenches against teams like you. They just do everything better. They're better adults than we are. It's just that simple. That's why they're going to lead this country in battle for years to come. And that's why they're put and trusted in to be in that school. You don't just sign up to Navy and say, oh, you're in. You've got to pass rigorous tests. You've got to be a disciplined individual. They prepare better than you do. All that goes into account today. Would I blindly bet Navy at this number? To be real with you, if I'm going to bet this game, which I don't know if I am, I'll be watching it. I don't know if I'm going to be betting it. If I would bet this game, the only bet I would make is on the money line. If I have a reason to bet on this, I don't want to. They're either going to win or lose. It's that simple. I think if this is a game Navy controls or they get blown out in. And do I think Navy can blow out Notre Dame? Yes. Do I think Notre Dame come out Navy? Yes. But I want some skin in the game here. I want some value on this game. And a coin flip 110 isn't going to do it for me. I think Navy can win. I really do. And you're probably saying to me, why not just take the 7? I don't know. Because, like I said, I want more skin in the game if I have to play it. Navy does a lot of things that are going to really worry Notre Dame. The good thing about Notre Dame is they play these teams every season. So they kind of have a way to stop the triple option. The triple option defensively, it's all about spacing and gaps and being in the right places and just kind of being places where they're going to be as well. It's not a complex offense, but now with Malcolm Perry, it is because he is so dynamic. The problem you always run into with Navy is it pays Perry. I mean, he takes a beating. I mean, the kid's tough. You can lose him quickly, though. I think defensively, Navy's improved significantly. They're going to have a tough job today against Book. Look, if you got 10, good for you. If you got 9.5, good for you. But I wouldn't necessarily bet this at 7.5. I just really don't want to bring myself to getting the worst number. I might take a small shot on the money line here. I think Navy can win this game. I think they can be in it late, but I need some skin in the game here if I'm gonna bet it. Yes, I understand. I agree with that, Sports Keg. I totally agree. Again, if you continue to bet bad numbers in college football, or in any sport, you're not going to win. And I always have a soft spot for the military schools. I hope Ken wins. I'd love to see him beat Notre Dame. I hate Notre Dame, so I would love to see them go in there and win. No one would be more happy than me. And You know, what makes me annoyed in this game? You know what makes me fucking sick? Sunday night when I look at the lines, I saw this game 9.5, and I wavered with playing it. But I've told myself, I'm going to be more calculated. I've had a good season in college football. I've done it a certain way, and I didn't move on the game. I should have. That's what happens when you overthink things. If you don't do your homework, and like if you're just sitting here betting, an hour before the game, you've got to do your homework in this business. And I should have betted at that point. Arizona State, Oregon State, two teams that need to win, two teams that are not bowl eligible. It'd be nice if Oregon State could get there. They've had a pretty solid season under John Smith. The Beavers are playing pretty well. It's a tough trip up to Corvallis if you're Arizona State. They need to find a way to get the job done here. What's Jaden Daniels' status? This looks kind of trappy if you're Arizona State. USC Cal, Cal, I don't buy into ever. I've heard Chase Garbers may play in this game, which is a big get if he can. Their quarterback situation outside of Garbers is dire at that. This one's just getting bombed right now. Everybody likes Cal. USC's pretty legit. Love their quarterback situation, but they continue to be really injured in that secondary. Arizona, Oregon. This is a game I played. I took the team total over for Oregon. I've mixed team totals in this year. They've been pretty profitable for me. I've had a couple that have came in. I think Oregon destroys Arizona tonight. They're at home. Should be a great atmosphere up at Autzen. They've been terrific there all season. They've been good in general there. They're very good against the number there. Arizona's defense is shockingly bad. Shocking. And this is an Oregon team that needs to leave no doubt right now. They need to put up some style points. You've got to get back to Chip Kelly days at Oregon. You need to put 60s up on the board. And they can do it tonight. Arizona is really bad defensively. Oregon should have no punting in this game. They should be able to move the ball with ease. Justin Herbert should put up a huge game here. This is going to be open season. There's going to be a lot of points in this game for Oregon. I took the team total over 47.5. I think this is a 56-21 type of game, 58-24, something like that. Probably saying to me, why didn't you take the over then? Well, because I think my only concern is that Oregon just shuts them down and wins, 51-3 or something. Because they can do that. They've done it this year. Look at that Nevada game. Put them 77 in that game, but I think they hit 50. I think they at least get 48, which that's all I need to cash a ticket here. So Arizona should get fucking teed off on tonight. And the good thing about Arizona is they go pretty fast, and they're going to have to throw the ball in this game. So we should have a lot of quick drives, should have a lot of possessions here. Coastal Carolina, Arkansas State. And by the way, Oregon's off a bye, I believe. I don't think they played last week. Actually, I want to check that. I should have checked that. I'm pretty sure they didn't. The last game they played with was USC, as far as I can remember. Yeah, they're off a bye. Perfect. So there you go. That's. I know I looked that up. That's why it also is great. Had some time off too. Coastal Carolina, Arkansas State. Should see points in this game. Both teams can move the ball. Lane, what's his name for Arkansas State? Should be able to move the ball against a bad Coastal defense. But I didn't bet on this game because I don't know what Fred Payton's status is for Coastal Carolina. If he plays, I like a little bit more, but their backup stinks. Bryce Carpenter, UTEP, UAB, couldn't give a shit. South Carolina, Texas A&M. I don't know. Flip a coin. I have no idea. South Carolina is starting to kind of fade. That Georgia win was kind of the highlight of the season, and then they've just faded since there. Texas A&M ain't winning anything. They're just playing out the string now. You're already bowl eligible, so they'll win. They should cover. Georgia, Auburn. Georgia laying 3, total 43. I have good info. And this is, listen, when I say shit like this, I'm not one of these people that does this kind of thing. I don't tell people really ever. But I got good information from someone that I trust considerably that told me that he got a call from somebody that he speaks to 2 or 3 times a year that gives him picks, and they're generally very good. they're generally ones that come in. He mentioned some info on Auburn. So, I trust this person. I trust this source and connect. So, Auburn, and weird things happen to Jordan Hare. That's all I'm going to say. That defense is pretty fierce. Why do I have a feeling this is a close game? UL Lafayette, South Alabama. ULL should roll, but again, do I want to lay 4 touchdowns with a run-first team? I don't know. Won't be on my card. Kansas, Oklahoma State should see plenty of points in this game. Both teams shouldn't have any trouble moving the ball. Kansas is one of the worst run defenses in America, and I don't have any reason to think Oklahoma State can stop Kansas either. I think this is a game where someone gets into the 40s. Texas, Iowa State. This is a case where I got the best number. It's down to 6.5. If you didn't get 6.5, if you can only get 6.5, then you shouldn't bet it. I got 7 on Texas, which I'm very happy with. I keyed in on this game pretty early in the week. I've talked all year. I don't think Iowa State is what a lot of people think they are. They lost some of their best weapons from last year in Montgomery and Hakeem Butler. Brock Purdy's been good. They haven't been great. I think their pass defense is vulnerable. And Texas isn't getting any respect. You better believe, you know what our friend Tom Herman's going to do? I guarantee he's put that number on the board already and said, look, they think you're 7 points worse than this team. And what do we know about Tom Herman? Great underdog coach. One of the best in the country. To me, I took Baylor today and I took Texas. And I'll get to why I like Baylor in a second. But anytime Tom Herman's getting points, I'm taking the points. And this is a good matchup. I think they can win this game. They've got a ton of weapons. They're getting healthy on defense. They should not be a 7-point dog here. They shouldn't. Tom Herman's covered 9 of 13 as a dog and won 5 of them outright. So, good luck. You look at Iowa State, last 3 games, they're giving up over 33 points a game. This game's going to be back and forth. Good luck if you feel like tailing. That's one game that I bet today. I'll give you my 3 plays that I made today at the end. But again, I put them out last night, so you probably should have already got them. TCU, Texas Tech. Lean TCU here. Just don't know what to get out of Texas Tech. Kind of like the under a little bit as well. Maybe a sneaky under with 2 defensive teams, one better than people think in Texas Tech. Oklahoma, Baylor. I took Baylor here plus 10. A lot of people will say to me, well, Oklahoma's good and whatever. I know they're good, but I also think Baylor's undervalued. They're at home. It's a huge game for that program. Their offense is pretty good. They have guys that can move the ball. Oklahoma is a bit vulnerable on the ground defensively. I think some of the weapons for Baylor could really bother Oklahoma today. I like Oklahoma. I like their offense, but I just trust Baylor to get stops. I don't trust Oklahoma laying double digits. This could be a game where Baylor gets, beat up into oblivion and, I get took. But, anytime I can get double digits against Oklahoma, I'll take it. I took them against Texas this year. They were able to backdoor. Oklahoma's turnover problems. They have trouble keeping leads. I'll gladly take the 10 here in a game that I think is close. Memphis, Houston. No real opinion here. I'm not laying double digits on the road. Houston's been ornery at times. Look at SMU. Look at SMU game. Look at some of the others. Not going to play it. Kentucky, Vandy. I'd rather zap my balls with a taser than watch this game. But is 10 points, is Vandy 10 points worse than Kentucky? I don't think they are. Michigan State, Michigan. A lot of people like Michigan here. Let's just remind you all, though, that this is a rivalry game. This is a game where you get a team with turnover problems all season. If this got to 14, I'd maybe buy on Michigan State. We've got to remember Jim Harbaugh doesn't win a lot of big games as far as I know. Florida, Missouri. If you didn't get to 7, then you shouldn't bet this game. Trask, road game. Missouri's defense is actually better than people think. but you're losing and not getting the best number if you didn't play it. Hawaii, UNLV. I'm not sure why Hawaii is a touchdown favorite at UNLV. Hawaii's defense is bad, and they don't stop anybody. It's a trip into the contiguous United States, something they generally haven't done well at over the years. UNLV can score, and they can match Hawaii here. This probably could be the highest scoring game of the day. I mean, until further notice, I would just probably bet against Hawaii and take the over. Every game they play is close. I actually took San Jose last week. If you can get 7 in this game, I'd buy on UNLV. And it's not the Hawaii can't cover. It's just they don't defend well enough to lay a touchdown more. As I said last week, I took San Jose, and they were able to hang in cash. I mean, UNLV's not completely lost. I mean, the season's for not, but I'm willing to think they could put some points up. This should be a good over game. 72.5 is probably a little low. Unless you're getting a total above 75, I feel like anytime Hawaii plays, you've got to bet over. They're a great over team. All they do is throw. They never run the ball. And if they do, it's like 1 out of every 7 plays. They should be laying touchdown on the road. Not Hawaii. Rice, Middle Tennessee. Listen, I'll continue to point out Rice has played well given the circumstances. I don't think they're the same inept team that you don't want to trust. I know they're 0-9, but they've hung in a lot of games this year. I don't think Middle Tennessee is 14 points better than Rice. I know they're 0-9. They're going to win at some point. Southern Miss, UTSA. I've talked about UTSA as well. Another team that has a really good fan base. Not a lot of people know about. There's no sports in San Antonio outside of the Spurs, and they get pretty good crowds at the Alamo Dome for these games. But I have no opinion on this one. Alabama, Mississippi State. Mississippi State's not good defensively. They're bad, and Alabama is probably going to play Mac Jones today. Listen, for Alabama, they'll win. Would I lay it? I mean, sharps are all over Mississippi State. So, you're getting a favorable number here, I think, but you won't find me betting it. Alabama will win. I think that's for me. I think for them, that's all that they worry about right now. Wisconsin, Nebraska. Scott Frost just got a contract extension for some reason, but I guess they believe in him long term. We'll see if that works out. Wisconsin's kind of faded a little bit, but they're still way better than Nebraska. This could be a blowout. This could be one of those games in Nebraska where they say, wow, we got 2 or 3 more years with this guy. He doesn't even show up in these kind of games. LSU will miss. LSU probably could put up 50 in this game, and I think they will. It's another send a message kind of game. Mississippi's not a totally inept offense, and I think one thing we know about LSU, they can give points up. I mean, they're not going to shut you out anymore. It's not what they do. Something tells me this is like 55-21 or something. Like, just my thoughts. I'd probably lay it and take the over. Stanford, Washington State. Davis Mills is back, which is good news. I love Davis Mills. This is another case of we talked about with Oklahoma. Is a team good enough to lay these kind of numbers defensively? And I don't think they are. I know Stanford's missing some guys in the secondary. I've got to look deeper into who's actually out for Stanford because they've been playing well and they've been a team that I've liked to bet on. Both these teams need the game. I think this game's close. I'm a big Wazoo guy, but I don't trust their defense enough to lay 10 with. And then Alabama State, Florida State, and then New Mexico State, Incarnate Word. If you can get a total on New Mexico State, Incarnate Word, that's going to be a high-scoring game. So if you want to bet an over, bet that one if you can get a number on it. All right, for me today, I took a Baylor plus 10, Texas plus 7, and Oregon team total over 47.5. There's some games that I have my eye on. I kind of like Colorado State a little bit. I like UNLV a little bit. I want to look more into Stanford. So, there are some games that I have my eye on. I think maybe take a small shot with the Naval Academy. A couple teams that I think could win games as moneyline underdogs. I think Temple can win. I think Naval Academy can win. And I think what was the other one? What was the other one I liked? Oh, Auburn. I think all 3 of those teams can win. So if you want to get froggy, but don't throw your money away on parlays, kids, as they say. A lot of good people in here. Let me take some questions here. If I don't answer your question, I've already talked about it, in which I already did. I broke down every game, so I really don't need to answer any more game questions. If you have any overall questions, feel free to ask. Please don't ask me if I mentioned anything about a game. I just went over every game. Okay, so if you didn't hear it, you can check in with the replay. Thanks for watching, Ryan Dow. Appreciate you. Josh, BH, Crypto, Taylor, Joe, Chris, Savage, AB, Nanad, Zone Talks Live, Adam Lastman, Matt Weeks, Kyle Butler, Sports Keg, what's up, my man? Joe M, B Smooth, Bully Line, Ryan Sismo, Nick. Thank you, Alex, Ralph, AB. Do you like any games of college basketball today? Yeah, I mean, I can go down the card and just kind of pick some things off and just chat about it. As I said, if you want to join me on my website for college basketball, it's college basketball only, all the picks, bmocwins.com. Please support me. Please say hello. Let's have some fun this year in college basketball. Yeah, college hoops. I'm just kind of picking off numbers in college basketball. I'll have something later. Also, if you guys want free picks for college basketball, follow me on Instagram, the BMOC Hoops. The BMOC Hoops. I should probably change that to BMOC Wins, but the BMOC Hoops. I put out a winner last night on Auburn University against Cal Northridge. I'll say this because I said it the other night. 771, 772, Providence and St. Peter's. I talked the other night on my show about St. Peter's. I think they're an interesting team. Right now, they're playing without their coach, Shaheen Holloway, who was suspended after an issue when he was at Seton Hall. St. Peter's is in New Jersey. Okay, this is a team that has a really good defense. They're going to be a really good defense issue. They have two players. They're two brothers from the country of Mali. They are terrific defenders, pogo stick players. This is a good defensive team. I'm not saying they're going to shut out Providence, but this should be a low possession, a grinded out type of game. Kind of a game like the Michigan Elon game last night. St. Peter's can't score. Providence is a terrific defensive group. I don't know why this total is getting bet up. Doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I would look more towards an under in this game. I think Providence can get to 70, but I think this is like a 68-52 type of game, something like that. I think this is a game in the 120s, to be real honest with you. I don't know that Providence shows out just because I don't think they're going to have a ton of possessions. St. Peter's wants to grind it out. They're going to play in the half court, and they're not going to be effective doing it. So, that's something I would take a look at. Purdue plays Chicago State today. That's a bad thing to do if you're Chicago State. Chicago State's the worst team in the country outside of Mississippi Valley State. Purdue was beaten the other night by Marquette, a game that they let slip out of their hands. I've got to figure Purdue's going to be a little pissed off today. Purdue should win by 50. It's that simple. And if you've been following me, I've been killing these big numbers. I would bet Purdue today. They're going to kill Chicago State. I would feel bad about Chicago. That's tough. That's a tough matchup for that team. I mean, they're already like the worst team in the country. Now you got to play a team that's pretty pissed off that is going to shut you the fuck down. That's like a 95, 45 type of game there. Purdue wants. I think Purdue is going to send a little message today. Like seriously, like they're going to kill. Like Chicago State's bad, like real bad. And if you're Chicago State, you're kind of looking ahead a little bit because you've got two games you could likely win against non-Division I teams. So, yeah, if I had to play a game today, this would probably be it, to be honest. Shout out to all the female gamblers. How about that? Shout out to the female gamblers. Good for you. Good stuff. Thank you, Soldier. Appreciate that. I don't know how you're not bigger. Your picks are usually spot on. Thank you, DER or DK Andrews. I don't know about spot on, but hey, listen, it's not for me not being wanted. People have wanted me. I've maybe stupidly have declined. So maybe that's why I'm not bigger. So there you go. A couple of free plays for you. I like the St. Peter's Providence under 132.5 and Purdue. People ask about Harvard. I wouldn't bet on Harvard until you know what the injury situation is there. It's not a good one right now. What else do we have here? So yeah, there's a couple I like. I will, I will just kind of keep watching what I'm seeing here, play a couple of games, and get ready for my season next Monday. So that's that. All right, all have a great day. Thanks for watching. Went over every game in college basketball, college football, and even hit a couple college basketball games as well. So, lay it with Purdue and also taking under St. Peter's. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for joining me. I will not be on the rest of the day. I hope you enjoy the games of college football. Might be on Periscope later, like way later. I'm 29 and 23, and the great thing about that is we're just looking to keep adding profit in college football. You can find all my free picks. We'll get an NFL show tomorrow, 12 Eastern. Make sure you join me. I go over the card as well there. If you're new, subscribe. Thanks for watching. I will see you later. Bye-bye.